Here's people. Oh, it's windy. Hopefully you can't hear the wind. Hi Adrienne, hi Pamela. Alright. So hopefully you can hear me, but not the wind, because it just got really, really windy. Rainy day? No, it's a beautiful day. It's actually, the sky is blue, but for some reason the camera makes it look really washed out behind me. That's the problem with the Instagram camera. Hello, Ian. Sherry and Marilyn, good to see you. So, Second Cup Saturday. A little different today because we can sit down again. So, we're out. You can't hear the wind. Good. It's because I have a good microphone. Yeah, it looks dreary out. Let me show you. Oh, my mom's here. Hi, Mom. I'm going to turn the camera around and you can see if I can turn it around. Trying. Yeah, you can see. See how blue the sky is? It's really pretty. But behind me looks terrible. I don't know why. Anyway, so we're on Borgo Pio. Christina's here with me today. And just ordered a drink. Don't have anything yet. We just had lunch. We can go to lunch again, out and sit. So that was fun. Went to one of our favorite places. It's been closed for about 3 months. What's it called? Oh, D'Arberto. So also on Borgo Pio. They're famous for their Norcina pasta, which is rigatoni with the cream sauce and sausage. And they were closed, of course, all of the lockdown. Then they reopened for a few days. Didn't go over very well because they didn't have a lot of people, so they closed again, and then they just reopened. And so it was really nice to be back. Amanda says hi. My mom says hi. Okay. Christina says hi back. She's on the other side of the table. So yeah, we went to lunch, and I don't know if you saw, but last night we went out and we met up with some friends in Monte over by the Coliseum, and we had drinks, and there were just tons and tons of people out enjoying life. And we still have the mask requirement if you're outside, but if you're drinking, eating, or smoking, you don't have to wear a mask, or exercising. And so now everybody eats, drinks, smokes, or exercises. And so nobody had on masks last night in the piazza, but it was packed. I posted some pictures from that. And if you look behind me, well, it's kind of hard to tell, but there are about 20 restaurants, bars, cafes on the street, and they're pretty much all packed. So it's a beautiful day. It's about 70 degrees here. The sun is shining, and so everybody is out enjoying Rome. And some other big news is that it's being rumored, I guess, that on March 5th, is it March 5th? I think it was March 5th. March 5th, restaurants may be able to stay open for dinner. So that'll be a big help for them. It'd be nice for us, because it's been forever since we had dinner out. What else can we talk about today? It's almost Lent. I'm working on a bunch of stuff for Lent. Videos, podcasts, articles. So hopefully that'll help you in your Lenten journey. And the kids are getting braces next week. So they're very excited about that. Lily's not getting braces. She's getting something else, kind of like a retainer thing. Palate expander, that's what it's called. So lots of stuff going on. What kind of questions do you have for me today? Oh, Column's here. You got your vaccine, I saw. Fresh back from New York. That was a quick trip. We're on your street, by the way. So yeah, we're here, Borgo Pio, and it's Second Cup Saturday. which usually means my second cup of coffee for the day. But today, we're doing things a little differently. Grazie. Today is a Negroni. So we're having a drink after our lunch. So Christina's having beer. Here, you can cheers your beer. See? She's having beer. I'm having a Negroni. I know that it's like 9:30, 6:30 in the morning for some of you. This is not my second cup of alcohol of the day. It's my first. But we just thought it was such a pretty day outside. We would have... Yeah, we had a big lunch. Heavy pasta. That's good.
Heavy pasta calls for beer.
Yeah, so it's like nap time now. I can't wait for Americans to come back to Italy. Yeah, I don't have any idea when that's going to happen. But I'm looking forward to that too. This is good. We've never been to this place. It's at the end of the street. It's always packed. Of course, locals. Always packed with locals. And so there's never any tables when we come to this part of the street. But today, because it was after lunch, they had a table. Now they have 2 tables. And we ran into some friends at the restaurant. It feels like normal life. Like we had drinks with friends last night. And Monty, the kids were playing in the piazza, kicking soccer balls around. And then we were having lunch today outside at a table. Some other friends just happened to walk by and they joined us. They got the table beside us. You're loving Amaro. Good. It's a good drink. Where are we now? This is Borgo Pio. So we're like 2 streets over from St. Peter's. At the very end of the block, that's, if you're familiar with Rome, that's Sant'Anna Gate. So that's the gate that the Swiss Guard stand in front of, and people that are coming and going to work in the Vatican, they pass through there. And that's where the Church of St. Anne is. So you can always go in there for Mass, for prayer. And they have an English Mass on Sunday as well because it's part of the Filipino community. And so they have Mass in English. What else? Oh, so looking forward to the station churches. I am too. It'll be different this year because as of 2 days ago, the North American College, they still weren't sure if they had permission to do their 7 a.m. masses. So if you're not familiar with that, they go to all the different masses or all the different churches every day for mass at 7 a.m. Then they go off to classes. And they can go out, but it's a matter of not all the churches want, a packed church every morning. And so they're still trying to get approval for that. So I'm not sure if that's going to happen. But I will be taking you for sure on a little pilgrimage to all the station churches. So you'll definitely see them with me. But yeah, it is nice if you're ever in Rome during Lent, during a normal time, to go to that 7 a.m. Mass because it's in English. You're surrounded by all the American seminarians and a lot of the priests that live here in Rome. There's a dog. It's a little puppy. How's the Filipino community here? It's big. There's a lot of different Filipino communities, but they do have one at Sant'Anna in the Vatican. Let's plan a mini Hail Marys at a time pilgrimage. We should absolutely do that. So message me and we can start working on that. I think pilgrimages will begin again, maybe later this year, summer, fall. I don't have any inside information. It's just me being hopeful. So yeah, we could definitely do a mini Hail Marys at a time pilgrimage. That'll be good. Hello to Porto. I need to get back to Porto. I love Porto. No? Oh. Yeah, so I don't know if you can see this kid. Where is he? There he is. See him over there? He's dressed like Thor. And that's because a lot of the kids here will dress up for Carnivale. So the weeks leading up to Ash Wednesday, they get dressed up like it's Halloween. And I don't see any around here, but they throw confetti. So usually like the ground is just covered in little pieces of paper. And yeah, so we just saw a kid walking around. Amanda is sad about Porto. She was going there. That's right. I forgot about your... Ooh, what are these? Yeah. They brought us little snacks. So when you get aperitivo, which is what we're doing, you get a drink, but they also bring you food. So I'm going to show you what they brought. Sometimes it's not much, like little pieces of toast, kind of beans and potato chips. But it's nice to have a little snack with your food. Yeah, it's a bean. So, yeah, and then it's super cheap. So I've talked about this before, usually on Tipsy Tuesday, because I don't usually drink alcohol on Second Cup Saturday. But the aperitivi, it's really inexpensive. So this is probably like €5 or €6. And then, like I showed you, there's little food they bring you. But some places they'll bring you like plates of food, meats and cheeses, pizza, and still like €5 or €6. And so a lot of Italians will go out for a drink before dinner. And the drinks, they're supposed to help with digestion. Italians love digestion. So this has like bitters in it, or an Aperol Spritz has bitters in it. And it's supposed to help get your digestion started, I guess. Then you eat, and then afterwards you'll have a digestivo, like the Amaro or Sambuca, something like that. What is the name of this place? I don't know. They don't have a name. I guess they have a name, but they don't have a name like out front. It's just at the end of Borgo Pio. But there's a few restaurants and bars here that don't have like names written outside. They just have here, I'll show you what it looks like. Turning around. So you can see they just have like the menu written on the door in chalk. There's the menu over there. And then it's just this really tiny place. So these kind of places are the best. And we have quite a few of those on this street. So if you missed it, it's Second Cup Saturday, where I usually take you to a coffee bar or get coffee to go and walk around Rome. But today we're having a drink because we had a big plate of pasta for lunch. And it's kind of a warm day. It's like hot in the sun. Not so much right where we're sitting because we're in the shade and it's windy. So yeah, we thought we'd do something a little different today. Take them to my pigeons. I have 2 pet pigeons now. I haven't announced that on Instagram yet. Christina made beer bread months ago, and you didn't like it, right? It wasn't good or something. And so we just thought like, oh, maybe the pigeons will eat it. And so we put like a few crumbs on the windowsill, and we had a few pigeons show up, and they ate the bread. And they started coming every day, even though there wasn't more bread. Every day they would come. And so if you've been keeping up with like my office, I got a desk, and now I have like an official office in the apartment. Because before I was just working like either from the couch or standing at the island in the kitchen. But the desk is right by the window in the bedroom. And so we noticed like when they would come for the bread, there was this one pigeon that kept showing up, and he was missing a foot. A lot of the pigeons are missing 1 foot here. Pigeon accidents. And so we got to know him. I started calling him Stumpy, which my mom says is really mean, and so I don't call him Stumpy anymore. I meant it like in a good way. And he started coming to my window like a week ago in my office, and he would just sit there. And then I noticed this other one was always with him. And this one was a little skinnier, also missing 1 foot. And so I decided that they were together. And I looked it up, and it turns out that pigeons do mate for life. And so since they were always together, always showing up at my house, I decided that they were married pigeons. And so I did some research on what pigeons eat. They'll eat anything basically, but bread's not really good for them, even though that's what everybody gives them. So they really like, there's certain vegetables and fruits they'll eat, and nuts. And so I got walnuts, and I put them on the windowsill, and I realized they were too big for them. They would have to like bite them and shake them, and they would go onto the road. And so now it's like this big thing. Every day I get up and I get some almonds and I get some walnuts, and I get out a cutting board and I chop them up really small, like pigeon bite-sized, and then I wait for the two of them to show up, because other ones, like interlopers, will come and they'll try to get the food, and I don't want to feed them. And so I wait for my two to arrive, and when they get there, they'll just sit there and they'll look at me and they'll do the little pigeon noise. And so then I'll open the window and I'll make a little pile of nuts for them, and they'll eat them. And they're still afraid of me, but they're getting a little more brave. I want to train them to like knock on the window when they're hungry. So now every time I feed them, I like tap on the window 3 times, and I'm hoping they'll like catch on that that's the sign of food. Yeah, even Christina didn't know how far I had gone with the pigeons.
He's starting to put pigeon food on my grocery list.
Yep, she went to the grocery store today, and I texted her while she was out. I was like, don't forget I need almonds and walnuts for the pigeons. So I don't know like if the neighbors would appreciate it or not, but only my 2 pigeons come and eat. Like I said, some interlopers show up from time to time, but they chase them off, and I don't give them food, so it's just my 2. I should name him Lucky because he got away. Yeah, maybe Mr. and Mrs. Lucky or something. I don't know. Do I live here? Yes, we live here. We live in this neighborhood. I'm not familiar with the Negroni. You asked what do I think of the Negroni? I don't even know how to Spagliato? I don't know what that is. I'm not too up on my cocktails, so I just know the straight up Negroni. I think I've heard of that actually. What else was there to talk about? My mom said that's a much better name, Lucky. Oh, I can name them Fortunato or something. That's Lucky here in yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Fortunate. I'll think about that. There's a restaurant that we really like. Take a photo of the pigeons. I do have pictures, so I'll put those on my stories later.
Pictures,
You did? No, I don't have them framed. I'm not crazy. But yeah, I have pictures of my pigeons while they're eating, so I can share that. Let's see. You're a therapist. You've learned a lot about classical conditioning. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing with the pigeons. I'm trying to condition them to ask for their food. I want them to like be friendly pigeons. I keep the window cracked a little. Like our windows here, I'll show you what they look like. These aren't our windows, but you can see. You see how they open, like typical Italian windows or those big panels, and so they open out or in rather. And so I keep one a little cracked, and so the one that I assume is maybe the guy pigeon because he's bigger, but maybe I'm being pigeonist or something. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe girls are the bigger ones. I don't know. But he is getting brave enough to like kind of stick his head in the window and like say like, "Where's our food?" Not coming in. I don't want the pigeons to come in and like fly around the house because that'd be a disaster trying to get them out.
Look up pigeon treats. Make them little treats.
Pigeon treats.
Like not beer bread because that's good. It's good for them, but
Like a strawberry.
something that they can get all the time.
Yeah, and then I also saw, name one Borgo, one Pio. That's what Kiara says. Interesting. Yeah, and then I also read that I did a lot of pigeon research. They eat rocks. So they only have a few taste buds. So I guess that's why they'll eat anything, because it just all tastes the same. But they swallow everything pretty much whole. And it sits like at the bottom of their throat. And then they go eat rocks. Like little tiny rocks. I think it's called forgot what it's called. Starts with a G, I think. Somebody might know. And then that's kind of like what helps them digest the food. And so I thought about getting little rocks and putting them out there. But I decided, no, I'll just let them find their own rocks because I don't know what kind of rocks they need.
Some sort of pigeon digestivo.
Pigeon digestivo, yeah. And then I also read that they like to, like, you don't think of, a lot of people think of pigeons are like scavengers and nasty, but they actually like to be clean. And so that's why you'll see them a lot of times in the fountains of Rome, because they like to bathe themselves. And so I was thinking about setting up some water on the windowsill, but they'd probably just knock it over and it would hit the people below, and then we'd get in trouble. So I didn't do that. I'm going to stick to the food, and that's it. What is the porchetta that we've come across? There's a lot of porchetta around here. There's a couple places on this street that has really good porchetta. The best I've had is in Assisi. Right? You've had it somewhere else? Assisi. Gullet, gravel. Yeah, I don't know. It was grist or something. I don't know. Anyway, I see some new people just jumped on, not dropped on. So it's Second Cup Saturday where I usually have coffee. Today I'm having a Negroni, just because it's after lunch. And we just had a big lunch and now we want to have a drink. And Christina's here too. She's just on the other side. She's having a beer. I don't know what other news to give. A good friend of ours, Monsignor Mark Miles, who lived a block from here, he was the Pope's translator from English to Italian. So if you watched the Pope when he visited the U.S., there was a little... He's from Gibraltar, but he has a British accent. And so he was... Grit, that's it. Thank you, Sherry. Grit. That's it. Yeah. Those are the little rocks I eat. Grit for the gizzard muscle. A lot of pigeon experts here. See, I'm not the only one. Monsignor Mark Miles. So he was the Pope's translator, English to Italian. He's also fluent in Spanish and French. He's a polyglot. And he was the only person in the room with Pope Francis and President Obama, Pope Francis, President Trump, Pope Francis, Queen of England. Like, he's in all of those meetings because he does the English to Italian. And then, I guess it was 2 years ago, they moved him to the U.S. and he was the head of some U.S. thing. I don't remember what it was called, in D.C. And then just yesterday, I think, he was named as Archbishop and Papal Nuncio of Benin in Africa. So that's a big interpreter. Well, they call him the papal translator. I don't know. They have a few. But yeah, he's the interpreter. You're right. Yeah, so he got a big promotion, and a lot of the apostolic nuncios, they get assigned first to usually not the best places. So somewhere like in West Africa or in Asian countries that, you wouldn't pick to go live in. And so his first assignment is this place in Africa. And he's very excited about it. He's going to be here in March, so we're going to try to meet up with him. Negroni, is it like a spritz but without the fizz? It's a different drink. It's Campari. Yeah, Campari. Is it gin? Maybe gin. It's very bitter. I usually go with the spritz. Some people say like the spritz is the more feminine drink and the Negroni is the man drink because of the fizz. But I like the spritz the best. And then there are people that like the Negroni the best. This is a really nice glass. Can you see this? It has like indentions. It's a really nice glass. What's up with the Italian government? I don't know. I don't really keep up so much because there's so many things that happen with the Italian government. Italy's been a country for, is it 70-ish years, 70-something years, and they've had 64 governments, I think. So it's not uncommon for a president to step down or get kicked out. it's just a lot different than America.
Coalitions.
Yeah,
They could, and then
I don't know. I hope you can hear Christina.
if a person in government, I don't know how it works, if they pull off their people from the prime minister, then that sends in chaos. And that's what happened. So one guy pulled off his coalition, and then Conti no longer had a coalition and had to resign. But this is common.
Yeah, it's pretty common that the government just completely flips every couple of years or so. Not always by vote.
Because then, you get a lot of change. Maybe that's not a bad thing.
Karen here says, "Oh, you met me and the family after a mass with Monsignor Miles. Found the mass from my my website. Oh, the flight attendants. I remember meeting you. Yeah. So, yeah, Monsignor Miles, when he was here, he decided to do an English Mass every day. And so he would do an English Mass at what we call the Foot Church, because they have the foot of St. Mary Magdalene, but it's San Giovanni de Battista of the Florentines, so St. John of the Florentines, St. John the Baptist of the Florentines. It's a Florentine church in Rome, but he would do an English Mass there at 6 p.m. And there was always just very few people there. Like sometimes there would only be like 6 people, but Newt Gingrich and Callista Gingrich would go there, the ambassador. Well, she was the ambassador for the Vatican. Other people from the embassy would go there. It was kind of like a who's who of Rome. The head of the papal security, he would go there because his daughter spoke English, so she wanted to go to English Mass. So not the Swiss Guard, but the other guys. So there's always a lot of security, like parked outside. But he was such a great homilist. Really missed him when he left. We've only gone a couple times since he left to that Mass. But
See him walking down the street.
yeah, so he would go to work down there. I pointed out the Sant'Anna Gate earlier. That's how he walked to work. But he lived a block away that way. So we would see him going up and down the street, go to work, then we'd come home for lunch, then go back, and then come back later. And then, yeah, we saw him a lot. He was a good friend. So we miss him. Did I miss anything? Italian government. Compile a list of church names with relics found in them. So there are some places where you can find things like that. On my website, I have like an ongoing list of the churches of Rome where I write about different churches and what's inside them. The truth is that churches have like tons and tons of relics in Rome anyway. And a lot of times they're kept away and only brought out for special feast days. Our latest podcast was about Santa Maria sopra Minerva, so you should listen to that one. But we talk about some of the relics that they have and how they're displayed on certain feast days. But a lot of churches here are like that. But most of them have like a significant relic that you can visit anytime. And so I do have kind of an ongoing list on my website that talks about that. Drinking a Negroni instead of coffee. It's not my second alcohol drink of the day. I just skipped coffee altogether today. And I guess that's about it. We're at our usual 30-minute mark. Any other questions, comments? Like I said, it's a beautiful day. I'm going to show you the sky again because behind me it looks awful. And you can see it's like that perfect Roman blue sky. But for some reason, the forward-facing camera isn't doing it justice today. Where is St. Catherine of Siena's body? So that's what we talk about in the podcast. That is at Santa Maria sopra Minerva, right by the Pantheon. So if you don't listen to the podcast, you should. You can get to it from my website, thecatholictraveler.com. Just click on podcast, and it's linked there. It's also available on iTunes. You can search for The Catholic Traveler podcast. And if you listen, it would be a big help if you could leave a rating, comment, because that helps other people find it. Love the bells. I love the bells too. I don't know if you saw my story last night. I posted around 9 p.m. we could actually hear the bells of St. Mary Major, because that's how quiet Rome is without all the people. And St. Mary Major is 2 miles walking distance, so like a kind of a direct route from our apartment. But last night we were able to hear it from 2 miles away, and I've never heard it before from my apartment, like even with the windows closed. That's how loud it was. And there's a really cool story behind the bell, the 9 p.m. bell. They used to ring it much later, and I'm going to do a post on this at some point. But there's a story of this person who was outside the walls of Rome, and hundreds of years ago that was dangerous. It was dangerous to be outside the walls of Rome. But the person was out farming or something with dogs or sheep. I don't know what it was. That's why I don't usually tell the story unless I prepare it first. But it got dark and it was really late, and the person was afraid and worried for their safety. I say there, I don't remember if it was a boy or a girl. I've heard both. But the bells, so the person started praying that they would get safely back into the walls. And miraculously, the bells of St. Mary Major started ringing. And this was around midnight, I think, which they don't usually ring at midnight. And so the person was able to find their way back into Rome, and then gave this big donation to the church so that every single day of the year for eternity, the bells would continue to ring late at night in case anybody was lost. And then a few years ago, I don't know how long ago, they decided, probably the people around the church decided that, after midnight, the bells don't need to ring because they're too loud. We can hear them from 2 miles away. Imagine what it sounds like when you're right there. So now it's at 9 p.m. And yeah, we could hear them in the apartment. Yeah, it was probably the wind, or yesterday the clouds were a little low. So sometimes you can hear the bells all the way across town, but it was just kind of cool to hear them because we were sitting on the couch in the living room and could hear them. Enjoyed the podcast on Thursday. Thank you, Jackie. All right, so I guess we'll wrap it up. We're going to pay. I'm done with my drink. I'm not going to have 2 of these because this was really strong. That's why all the locals come here, because it's so strong. And then that's it. Any other questions, comments? I said I was going to send this out last week, but I didn't yet. I'm going to send out an email about my Lenten station churches, because I'm doing a lot of stuff, and I just want to make sure that everybody's prepared, because I know some people give up social media for Lent, and that's where I share everything, but it's also my website. So if you're not signed up for my email list, you can sign up on thecatholictraveler.com. Just scroll to the bottom, and there's a newsletter thing. You can sign up there. But I'm going to send out all the information about the podcasts we're going to do every single day of Lent, the videos I'm going to post every single day for all the station churches. And they're quick. They're all quick. Something you can do every day as part of your Lenten journey, maybe. So yeah, I'm going to send that out probably Monday or Tuesday so that you can be prepared for that. But yeah, that's it. I'm going to wrap it up. Girls are going to go clothes shopping, I think, and going to enjoy this beautiful, feels like spring. It's February. Crazy. Yeah, so ciao, thanks for watching. Next week we'll have coffee instead of alcohol. And we'll be able to sit down in a real coffee bar, and then maybe we'll take a walk afterwards. All right, good to see you. Goodbye. See you Tipsy Tuesday.